In the locality of Vasai, Maharashtra, a community that thrived on the routines and rhythms of middle-class life, a crime of unimaginable horror emerged from behind closed doors. The air of normalcy in the area was shattered as the veil was lifted on a domestic relationship that had spiraled into a dark and tragic abyss. To neighbours and acquaintances, the couple at the centre of this story appeared to be navigating life's challenges like any other family. However, beneath this outward semblance of stability lay a volatile mixture of mistrust, jealousy, and simmering anger. What started as yet another argument, a familiar occurrence in their strained relationship, quickly escalated beyond words. Unbeknownst to those around them, the walls of their home bore silent witness to the eruption of violence. The man's festering suspicions and the couple's unresolved tensions culminated in a crime so chilling that it left not only the neighbourhood, but the entire region reeling. This incident would soon reveal the fragility of human relationships when trust is eroded and emotions go unchecked. The veneer of everyday life, so often a mask for private struggles, was torn apart in this case, exposing a haunting tale of desperation that led to the unthinkable. It was a sobering reminder that beneath the surface of ordinary lives can lurk extraordinary pain, and in this instance, catastrophic consequences. Sanjay, a man in his mid-30s, and his wife Roha had been married for several years. From the outside, their life appeared typical of a middle-class couple in Vasai, Maharashtra, India. They were seen as just another family trying to navigate the trials and triumphs of married life. However, behind the closed doors of their modest home, their relationship painted a far darker picture. Sanjay harbored a growing distrust of Roha, fueled by baseless suspicions about her fidelity. His jealousy festered over time, turning minor disagreements into heated arguments. Roha consistently denied the accusations, pleading with Sanjay to trust her, but her reassurances seemed to fall on deaf ears. The seeds of mistrust that Sanjay had planted grew into thorny vines that choked the love and understanding between them. Sanjay's mistrust toward Roha stemmed from a combination of insecurity, external influences, and his growing paranoia about her loyalty. Early in their marriage, Roha's friendly and outgoing nature often clashed with Sanjay's possessive tendencies, leading him to misinterpret her interactions with others as flirtatious. These insecurities were magnified by gossip from friends or relatives who suggested that Roha might be unfaithful. As the months wore on, the strain on their relationship became evident even to their neighbours. The walls of their home could not contain the sound of their arguments, which often echoed through the quiet Vasai neighbourhood. The once cordial exchanges between Sanjay and Roha had devolved into frequent shouting matches, reflecting the deep fissures in their marriage. The neighbours, though aware of the discord, largely dismissed it as a private matter. After all, domestic quarrels, though unfortunate, were not uncommon. But the simmering tension between Sanjay and Roha was anything but ordinary. It was a powder keg waiting for a spark. Little did anyone know that these arguments would soon culminate in an act so gruesome and unthinkable. Sanjay's growing paranoia, combined with Roha's attempts to maintain peace, set the stage for an irreversible tragedy that would forever alter the lives of everyone involved. One evening, the fragile equilibrium of Sanjay and Rocha's turbulent marriage shattered irreparably. Their argument that night started like so many others, with accusations of infidelity and desperate denials. Roha, exhausted from constantly defending herself, stood her ground, hoping to put an end to the relentless cycle of mistrust. But Sanjay, consumed by jealousy and blinded by rage, refused to listen. The tension, already at a boiling point, finally overflowed. In a fit of uncontrollable anger, Sanjay lunged at Roha, his hands tightening around her neck as she struggled for air. It was over in minutes. Roha lay motionless, her life extinguished by the very man she had once trusted. As the gravity of what he had done set in, Sanjay was struck by a wave of panic. The woman who had been his wife was gone, and in her place was a lifeless body, a stark reminder of his crime. Desperation quickly replaced remorse, and Sanjay began to think of ways to conceal the truth. The thought of calling the authorities or confessing his crime never crossed his mind. Instead, he fixated on hiding what he had done. His gaze fell upon the refrigerator, a place where things were kept cold, where time seemed to stand still. In a chilling act of both practicality and horror, he opened its doors and placed Roha's body inside. The fridge, an everyday appliance meant to preserve life's necessities, now held the evidence of a life brutally taken. Its cold, sterile walls became the silent keeper of Sanjay's dark secret. He believed this would buy him time to figure out how to stage Roha's death as natural, an act of premeditated deceit layered over his spontaneous violence. But the weight of his actions and the grim reality of Roha's lifeless form inside the fridge began to haunt him. Every time he passed the kitchen, he felt the oppressive presence of his crime. As the hours turned into days, the fridge, once a mundane part of their home, became a chilling symbol of his guilt, a ticking time bomb of discovery that would inevitably explode. For several days after the crime, Sanjay attempted to maintain a veneer of normalcy. He went about his daily routine, interacting with neighbors and pretending that nothing was amiss. However, the horrifying reality of his actions began to seep through in a way he could no longer control. A foul, pungent odor began to permeate the air around the house, raising suspicions among the neighbors. Adding to their unease was Roha's sudden and unexplained absence. Known to be a regular presence in the neighborhood, her disappearance became increasingly noticeable. When neighbors tried to ask Sanjay about Roha, his evasive answers and jittery demeanor only heightened their concerns. Unable to ignore the smell or the suspicious circumstances any longer, the neighbors decided to take action and contacted the authorities. When the police arrived, Sanjay's nervousness was immediately apparent. He fumbled through his responses, unable to provide a coherent explanation for his wife's absence or the overpowering odor emanating from his home. The officers, guided by the stench, conducted a thorough search of the house. Their investigation led them to the refrigerator, where the smell was strongest. What they discovered inside was beyond horrifying. Roha's lifeless body, crammed into the confined space meant to store food and preserve life. The gruesome sight of a human body reduced to a macabre hiding spot stunned even the seasoned officers. During interrogation, Sanjay initially tried to divert the blame, weaving a series of unconvincing stories to absolve himself. He claimed ignorance about the events leading to Roha's death, attempting to project himself as a victim of unfortunate circumstances. However, as investigators pieced together evidence from the crime scene and questioned his erratic behavior, the walls began to close in on him. Faced with mounting pressure and the undeniable evidence against him, Sanjay finally broke down and confessed. He admitted to killing Roha in a fit of rage during one of their frequent arguments. Consumed by jealousy and convinced of her infidelity despite having no proof, he said his actions were a culmination of years of mistrust and controlling behavior. As the investigation continued, a deeper pattern of Sanjay's toxic behavior emerged. Witness accounts and personal communications revealed a man plagued by insecurities and prone to imposing restrictions on his wife. He had grown increasingly possessive over the years, interpreting Roha's independence and interactions as signs of betrayal. The police also uncovered Sanjay's post-crime plan. He had intended to keep Roha's body hidden in the refrigerator until the natural signs of decomposition had passed, after which he planned to fabricate a story about her death being from natural causes. However, the overwhelming stench from the decomposing body sabotaged his plan before he could execute it, exposing his crime in a grotesque and public manner. His futile attempt to conceal the murder and manipulate the narrative showcased not only the brutality of his crime, but also his lack of foresight and desperation. What began as a domestic dispute had spiraled into a chilling act of violence and an equally grim attempt at cover-up, leaving a scar on the lives of those who knew the couple and shaking the community to its core. This tragic story underscores the devastating effects of suspicion and poor communication within relationships. Trust and love are the cornerstones of any partnership, and when these crumble, the results can be disastrous. Mistrust, left unaddressed, can spiral into destructive behaviors and irreversible actions, as seen in this horrifying case. This incident serves as a sobering reminder of the importance of addressing conflicts constructively. Open dialogue, mutual respect, and seeking professional help when necessary can prevent misunderstandings from escalating. Anger and doubt, if left unchecked, can lead to decisions and actions with permanent consequences. In this case, mistrust led to the loss of a life, the destruction of a family, and irreversible guilt for the perpetrator. Let it remind us all to resolve conflicts through empathy and understanding before they become tragedies. If you found this story compelling, please like, share, and subscribe for more real-life mysteries that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Enjoy our crime stories? Help us bring even more thrilling mysteries to life. Your support keeps the suspense going. Click the link in the description to keep the stories coming.